Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremaine and this is my review of The Wiz. But before I get started, I want to ask you, if you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button. It only takes a second. That way you can check out all my new videos that are coming up. My reviews, well, Empire's off now, but all the other shows that I review, as well as movies, and I have my new talk show coming out, and I have some web series that are going to be up and coming. So I got a lot of great things out there that I want you to see and check out, and just enjoy this social media experience with me. You can also see me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I am on Facebook all day, every day anyway. So if you really want to contact me, talk to me, friend me, follow me. I can be very controversial. I warn you that in advance. And because I can be controversial, I'm at my 5,000 person limit. However, usually one person a day will unfriend me, or I'll unfriend them for whatever reason. Like if you're homophobic, if you're racist, if you're prejudiced, I will knock you off my friends list quickly. Like I just did a friend of mine who's been my friend for 20 years, and he said some really stupid ass shit on Facebook that I didn't like, that I thought was prejudice. So now he's unfriended, and I probably won't talk to him in real life either, because I don't have time for ignorance. But I do have time to give you this review of The Wiz. Let me say this: a lot of people are mad at me right now because when The Wiz was on, I was blogging and I was mentioning a lot of the shit that I didn't like, and reposting the memes that were coming out like crazy, and so a lot of people thought I was being really negative with The Wiz, but I wasn't really being negative. I was just saying what I was thinking. There were things I liked, there was things I didn't like, but people sort of zoomed in on the things that I didn't like and was like, oh my god, like I'm a traitor to my race because I didn't like The Wiz. Fuck you, bitch. So I'm actually going to start with things that I liked, because there were things in The Wiz I really did like, and I actually do recommend this shit. So I would say watch The Wiz and judge for yourself. It's a good time for your family. It's a good time to actually just see and experience at least once. What I liked. I liked David Allen Greer as the Cowardly Lion. I liked Neo as the Tin Man. I liked Amber Riley as Ada Pearl. I liked Stephanie Mills because she's Stephanie Mills. She played Auntie M, but she could have played the goddamn, dog catcher or a janitor or something. And a munchkin. I still would have been like, Stephanie Mills goes in the like column. I liked the costumes. I liked the sets. I liked the music. And I liked the family feel of the production, because it was really fun. And I really loved the sets. The sets were great, because the last time I saw The Wiz live, the sets were awful. It was at a college. But these sets, which they had the money to do, was on point. The costumes were on point. They had Fatima as the choreographer. So if you know anything about Fatima Robinson, you know the bitch can dance. She's like the Debbie Allen of the next generation. So, all of that was on point. What I thought was adequate. It doesn't mean it was bad. I just meant it was adequate. They did their job. They didn't impress me, but they did their job, and they were okay. So they weren't good. They weren't bad. They were okay. They were adequate. So Queen Latifah's The Wiz. She did a better job in Chicago, but I like Queen Latifah's The Wiz. I thought she did her job. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but it didn't knock my socks off. Mary J. Blige's Eveline. I liked the song, No Bad News. She did a great job. She's Mary J. She knocked the song out the park. I would even give her an Emmy nomination for that song. However, and I would actually give The Wiz the Emmy, next year when they, for live, whatever the category they're in, they need to win the shit. But Mary J. is not an actress. So when it came to her having dialogue as an actress, it fell flat because she's not an actress, she's a singer. And so that was the only thing I didn't really like about Eveline, is that the way she delivered her dialogue, it didn't feel like a character. It felt like Mary J. just sort of being herself, and this is how I explained it to my client this morning. I said, I felt like she was playing the role of Eveline, Not that she was Eveline. There's a difference. You know, like she was play acting. Uzu Abdullah as Glinda the Good Witch. She was okay. I mean, she's an opera singer, so I knew she could sing. She looked good as the character, and it was only like one scene, but you know, I really wasn't impressed. Like I thought I was going to be impressed based on what I heard about how much she could sing. She did okay. She did the job. You know, she wasn't bad, but I wasn't like, oh shit. You know, like there's a lot of people online right now that's like, oh shit, she did that. I was like, well, she did a good job, but I mean, it wasn't great. Elijah Kelly is the Scarecrow. Once again, adequate job, but as my client said this morning, he said that he wished that Elijah Kelly was the Tin Man and Neo was the Scarecrow because Neo actually is a better dancer. He really knows how to dance. So I really wish that maybe they did switch roles or something like that because Elijah Kelly is a good actor and a singer, but I wasn't impressed by his Scarecrow the way David Allen Greer. I was like, oh shit, he did that. Everything. He was great as the role. Neo, I really enjoyed him as the Tin Man. But Elijah Kelly, I thought he fell in the category of adequate. He was okay. He did the job. And I didn't like his costume. That's the only costume in the entire production I actually can say I didn't like. I didn't like the way the Scarecrow looked. And then there were some updates with the show, which surprised me. And that was the Emerald City. That's probably going to be the most talked about scene of the entire play because it was all of Vogue and it was going on. And like I just saw a meme before I started this. It said, we didn't know the Emerald City was in Atlanta. But, you know, so the most memes come from the Emerald City because they were doing the old school voguing like you saw in the documentary like called Paris is Burning. If you ever see that documentary, you'll see that they're doing the old school way of voguing, classic voguing. And if you know anything about voguing, you immediately recognize it. And you're like, well, okay. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing today. So it wasn't bad. I mean, actually, they did a really, really good job at the voguing scene at the Emerald City. But what I did not like was Common. I thought that Common, did he forget his lines or something? Because he looked like a deer in headlights in that scene, and he had a really small part, but I didn't think he did a good job. I'm sorry. The other thing that caught me off guard was when Eveline said, does Dorothy think she can march her skinny ass up here and destroy me? And because I felt like this was such a family-friendly production, I didn't like that moment where I'm like, you know, if I had kids watching, I would have been like, oh my, come on, just keep it clean. Just keep it PG, okay? And then there's one thing I didn't like other than the look of the Scarecrow was Dorothy. I've seen online people are literally 50-50 on Dorothy. Either they liked her or they didn't. You know, I actually walked out the room when she was singing Home because I didn't like her version of it. And it was like, I didn't feel like she was Dorothy. She didn't do it for me. I really think they miscast it. I didn't like her voice. It was kind of nasally. I mean, I'm sure she's a nice person. She probably has a great career ahead of her. But I did not feel that she was a good Dorothy. And that's how a lot of people feel. Either you liked her or you didn't. Some people liked her because she's a larger size girl. She's not fat. But, you know, some people like her because she's plump. So they want to, you know, be there for the big girls. But I did not like her acting. And especially in a scene where a Scarecrow said something and or one of them had said something, and she was like, you know, I'm a woman and blah 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 blah, and I was like, so now Dorothy's a bitch. I just wasn't feeling the vibe she gave as Dorothy, there's a certain amount of innocence that goes into the character that Diana Ross did, that Stephanie Mills did, that even in The Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland did, that there's a certain amount of innocence that goes into Dorothy that makes you go, I like her and I want her to get home. And she didn't give that to me. She didn't bring that to the production to me. So I was not a fan of her version of Dorothy, but I do know a lot of people are. So if you enjoyed it, more power to you. I'm trying to clap with my clipboard in my hand. More power to you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't want you to dislike the production. I like the production overall. There's just several things in it that I didn't like. Ironically, one of those things was Dorothy. But for the most part, if you listen to my review, I overall liked it and I actually recommend it. So, and I even think they should win an Emmy for it. So I'm not dissing The Wiz, as some people have said that I did on Facebook. I'm just expressing the things I liked and the things I didn't like. And people have a tendency to jump on the things you don't like. But that's my review of The Wiz. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy me on social media as well. And subscribe. If you enjoy this video, you also enjoy the things that I have coming up. I'm very opinionated. My talk show starts next week. We start with our previews of what's coming, and then the following week we're actually going to be uploading full talk show episodes on different topics. So I hope you enjoy that too, because it's going to be a wild ass ride. And once again, thank you for watching, and I do appreciate you for watching my videos, subscribing to me, and enjoying this experience with me. Thank you.